Intermittent fasting made easy, part 2. Hey everybody, this is Mike Erlob coming at you from the Flex Compound with another episode of Power Your Life. And you guys, I am so excited and just so juiced to be here with you right now. It is a beautiful day outside. We have finally broken this cold weather curse. I know that, for those of you that are maybe down south in Texas, you guys are still kind of suffering through it. But, a couple days ago, it was a minus 23 degree Fahrenheit air temperature. That wind chill was like a negative 40. And today it's almost 20 degrees and it feels like it's like 50. So this is just absolutely amazing. I'm loving it. I wanted to share with you the other weekend, my wife, Shauna, and I, we had went out on a date and went on our date night, and we try and get away like that, at least once a month. And both of us have been really busy for a while. And we kind of had been having trouble finding that time to get out on our date night. And we finally got out there and we just had this amazing dinner. We ate at this seafood restaurant, Shucks, out in West Omaha, and it was just absolutely awesome. One of my favorite restaurants. And it was just so great to get some alone time with each other, just to have a nice, quiet dinner away from just the demands and the busyness of life. And it really gave us time to talk and reconnect with one another. And as we finished up dinner and we started to head home, it got me thinking. I'm a bit of a deep thinker, and it really got me thinking just how incredibly important time together really is. You see, I think too often we just let the pressures and the demands of life, it just gets in the way of the things that are really, truly important to us. And spending that all-important alone time with your spouse or your significant other, that is so critical to the health of the relationship. It's the investment of your time that just can make all of the difference. And let's face it, time is the most valuable resource that we have. In fact, and some of you may disagree with me, but time is more valuable than money. You see, time is limited. Every one of us, we only have so much of it here on this earth. And none of us know how much we have. None of us know how long that will be. And once you spend your time, it's gone forever. You can never get it back. You see, money will come and go, and you'll make it, you'll spend it, you'll make some more of it, and that's why they call it cash flow. It comes and goes. But you see, once time is gone, you can never get that back. So each and every one of us, we should strive every day to use our time wisely and invest our time in ways that really matter, such as our relationships with the ones that we love. So now today, I want to help you spend your time wisely and give you the rest of that top 10 tips that will help you make your transition into intermittent fasting even easier. But before we get started, I just wanted to address a few things that, I've had other clients tell me about intermittent fasting, and some of these are even things that I thought, about intermittent fasting before I started using it. One of those that I hear from folks is, that their cravings for sweets and sugars are just too intense and that they just can't overcome it, right? So I want you to listen to this. First of all, sugar is a drug, okay? It has the same effect on your brain chemistry as does cocaine, all right? It's addictive and it is hard to break free. And I want you to know that it's not your fault. Okay? Intermittent fasting is a lifestyle and it's not a diet. And so it's a new way of living. And this is a new way for you to live. And you see, just like a drug addict or an alcoholic has to break free of their addictions, so too does the sugar addict. Okay? And it's a process that takes time. So I want you to, be patient with yourself, right? See, it's progress, not perfection, that matters. Forgive yourself. You're going to slip up sometimes. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. But you see, over time, you can cut that sugar out of your diet. Just do little bits at a time, not all at once, okay? And these tips that I'm giving you, they will definitely help. Another issue that I hear a lot from folks is just simply, Mike, there is just no way I can do this. I don't have any self-control. Now look, we all face things in our life which are difficult, okay? And right now, our society and our culture has not made the idea of intermittent fasting any easier for us, right? This idea of 3 meals a day and with snacks is so ingrained into our culture that any change can just seem so impossible. And when you add that the abundance of food and the extensive marketing that the food companies are doing, that makes this even more difficult, okay? So the bottom line is this: if you truly want to change your life, you want to get healthy, and you want to lose weight, then something has to change in how and what you eat. You cannot keep living like you are and expect that you're going to lose weight and get healthy. It's just not going to happen. So you must make the decision in your own mind that you really want to change, and then you start taking action, okay? A third reason that so many people won't start with an intermittent fasting program is that they think that eating healthy or eating better is just too expensive. Listen, that is just simply not true, okay? Intermittent fasting actually is a less expensive way of living. When you go from eating 3 to 4 meals a day with snacks to only eating 2 meals a day, you are going to save money, okay? And if you're following the 80-20 rule, where you're eating 80% vegetables and only 20% meat for your meals, it even makes it that much more affordable. Because, look, vegetables are not expensive, okay? And this is an investment in your life. So, enough said on that. Let's review the tips that I gave you last week, all right? So the top 5 tips from last week were: 1, before you start an intermittent fasting routine, cut the sugar before you start, okay? Cut back on that. It'll make a big difference. Number 2 is keep yourself well hydrated, all right? Get plenty of water. Water is going to be your friend. The third is get plenty of sleep, okay? Get some Z's, right? Because you're going to make bad decisions when you're tired, okay? And in the very early stages of intermittent fasting, you are going to get hangry. It's going to happen. So make sure you're well rested. Your family will thank you. You will thank you. Number 4, go for a walk. Get up and move around, all right? When you feel that urge to snack or eat, get up and go do something else, all right? Number 5, coffee and tea are your friends, all right? Especially in the mornings, and then the tea at night, all right? Tea will help you sleep. Coffee, I mean, that's a good breakfast replacement. Really kind of keeps you from that desire to start eating food first thing in the morning, so you can keep that fasting going until noon. So, without further ado, here's my next 5 tips, all right? So number 6, time flies when you're staying busy. All right, the worst thing that you can do when you're first starting to fast is to keep your eye on the clock and start counting down the hours until it's time to eat again. Look, I've done that, all right? It doesn't work. It's terrible. And that didn't work well for you when you were back in high school either, waiting for the bell to ring. It does not work well when it comes to fasting either. Instead, find something to keep yourself busy, okay? Go meet a friend for coffee, read a good book, watch a movie, get some work done, work on that project in your garage or in your basement. It doesn't matter what you do, but stay busy. That time will start to fly. All right, the next one is when you eat, savor your food, okay? Listen, when it's time to eat, you are going to be tempted to grab something and just start wolfing it down. I mean, you're just going to want to eat really fast. Trust me, you are not starving to death, okay? So instead, take your time, all right? Take your time with the food. Fix something that you really like. Take your time preparing it. Arrange it on the plate, all right? Sit down at the table and savor your food, because eating is as much a visual and tactile experience as it is about the nutrients getting it into your body. So by the time you take your time savoring your food, you're going to satisfy that part of you, until it's time to eat again. Okay, the next tip is this. Get out of the house and away from temptation, all right? So you're gonna have days where fasting is really, really hard, all right? And you're gonna want to raid the fridge or hit the freezer or go into your pantry and pull out a jar of peanut butter and just start eating it, okay? I've been there, I've done that, I know how it feels. So the best thing to do when that happens, get yourself out of the house and get yourself away from all the available food, all right? Now, when you do that, you don't want to head down to McDonald's or head down to the coffee shop or the food. Well, we don't have malls anymore, but you don't want to go somewhere where there's a lot of food. Instead, do what you can to stay away from the food. We already talked in the past about going for a walk. That's a great option. Go for a drive. Just distract yourself long enough for your willpower to come back, all right? It's all about interrupting the pattern. All right. So when your mind gets set on that food, do something else to flip the script, to change it up. All right. Interrupt the pattern. Pattern interrupt. It will help. Next, save a special treat. All right. Here's a good little trick, and it works really good for a lot of fasters. When there's a special treat that you really, really want, right? Go ahead and get it, but just save it. Don't eat it right then and there. All right. Instead of telling yourself, no, you cannot have that cupcake. Tell yourself that it's okay, you can have it, but you're not going to eat it right now. Make yourself wait for that favorite food. It's a lot easier because you're going to eat it. You're going to have a day where you maybe have a cheat day, you have an off day, and that's okay. And eat it at that point, all right? It's okay to do that instead of giving that food up for good. Last one. This is key. Stick to the same schedule. Okay, let's face it. We are all creatures of habit, and we're going to adapt to a particular schedule if we stick to it for a while. So, for example, if you get up every single morning and you eat breakfast right away, guess what your body's going to get used to doing, right? You're going to find yourself waking up hungry. It's just like my dogs at home. They eat every morning at about 5 o'clock. Well, guess what happens if I don't wake up at 5 o'clock? They're expecting to eat. So they're waking me up at 5 o'clock, which doesn't really work when it's the weekends. So, we are just like that. We are creatures of habit. So, if on the other hand, if you stick to a schedule where you don't eat until 11 a.m. and you have your last meal by 7 p.m., you're not going to wake up hungry. And after a while, you won't even crave that late night snack before bed. Your body will adapt to it. Your body will start to learn that food is something to expect between those hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. roughly. That's why it's important to stick to that same schedule when you fast intermittently, which brings me to even the weekends, all right? So you do this intermittent fasting during the week, carry it over to the weekends too, all right? Don't let yourself deviate from that too much, because next thing you know, you're going to be off, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then you just say, screw it, and you throw it out the window, right? So stick to that schedule, because come Monday, it's going to be easier. You're going to have less of a hard time sticking to it if you stay to that schedule. So, just like I said, it'll keep you from getting hungry during your fasting hours. It'll make it that much easier to stick to your plan. Now listen, I really hope that these tips can help you as much as they have helped me, but I do know that there are those of you who would like some additional help. And you see, that's why we've created our special weight loss system that follows intermittent fasting, okay? It guides you through the process, and it's available online, and it's called the 4-Week Weight Loss System for Busy Moms and Dads. And you can learn more about this amazing program just clicking on the link below, okay? So, I'd like to leave you with this thought-provoking quote from James Augie, and he said, "Lost time is never found again." So, I'll let you ruminate on that one for a while. And remember, it's progress, not perfection. And I'm going to head out and enjoy this beautiful weather. And until next time, power your life and keep moving forward.